When you check into a hotel and you present your ID, do you ever think that you're giving away far more personal information than necessary? The hotel only wants to prove your identity, but now they also know your age, weight, home address, driver's license number, and more. As soon as you hand it over, you lose control. We're often asked to give away too much of our private data. Once it's out of your hands, that information can become susceptible to hacking, the sale of your personal data, or a barrage of unwanted ads. But what if there was an option to verify your personal information without giving away unnecessary, critical, private details? Verifiable credentials, a pillar of Web 5, solves this. There are digital certificates of claim that are easily shared in a private and secure way. They can prove your legal name, age, ownership of an asset, or anything really. Verifiable credentials limit the amount of data you share to only what's required, and they can't be tampered with or faked. Let's reimagine how identification could work. With Web 5, the government issues a verifiable credential that proves your identity and lives in what we call an identity wallet. So now when you check into the hotel, you present the front desk with a verifiable credential and share only what the hotel needs. This establishes that you are who you say you are, without giving away more personal information than you'd like. Verifiable credentials make proving claims easier, more private, and more secure.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. It's me again, if you couldn't tell. I'm super excited for today's stream. We have some special guests. I'm going to bring them up on the stage. Jennifer, Rebecca, and Brian. Make sure can you guys hear? Good?
Yeah.
Great. Before we get into like intros and everything, I'd love to know where everybody's checking in from. Leave a comment down where you're checking in from. I'll start. I'm in Boston. Where are you? Where are you guys? Let's start with Rebecca.
Yeah, I'm in the Bay Area. I'm Rebecca.
What about you, Jennifer? Where are you checking in from?
From the Bay Area as well.
Oh, are you guys all in the Bay Area, Brian? You as well?
No, I'm currently in Oregon.
Oregon, nice. All right, guys, welcome. Let's do a little intro. So we have our hackathon winners for the app RideFair that they created. So they're going to get into that. But let's start with you, Jennifer. What do you do? Your name, all that.
Yeah, so my name is Jennifer, and I'm a product designer. Yeah, that's just about it. I design technology.
Yeah, that's great. What about you, Brian?
Hi, I'm Brian. I'm currently a front-end developer for a local credit union.
Oh,
and yes, I work specifically with Vue.js.
Nice. Rebecca?
And I am also a product designer like Jen. I've worked with mostly edtech, a little bit of e-commerce as well. But yeah.
Nice. Welcome, guys. I'm super happy you're taking the time to do this. This is our hackathon from last year, and we just haven't had the time to get you guys on here. So welcome, winners. I'd love to back up a little bit and just figure out how did you guys hear about the hackathon? Did you know each other before the hackathon, or did you join together? How did that start? And anybody can take the question.
Yeah, so one night I was just browsing on DevPost, and I stumbled upon TBD's post, and I thought it was super cool, and I wanted to know. I went on the website. The website looked beautiful, and there's so much information, and I had never heard about Web 5 before, so I thought it was something I wanted to partake in. And the first person I thought of was Jen because we had worked on a hackathon before and we were able to win first place in our category with this
Ooh.
ed tech app.
Mhm.
And then we had also just finished working on a local nonprofit project with Rebecca, and so we thought she'd also be a great fit for the project.
Nice. So you guys all you were the leader of getting everybody like ranked.
No, we all, yeah.
That's now my next question is I kind of want to know now, since you won a hackathon previously to this one, what's like the secret sauce to winning hackathons? Like, what's your one advice you would give if somebody wants to okay, I want to join this hackathon, I want to win. What's like your number one advice for that? No
I would
pressure.
say, oh, sorry. You definitely need a great story along with the product. Something that's something that people would want to use, or just something that solves a problem.
Solve a problem.
I feel like the other thing that's really important in going into hackathons is having a great team. Like Jen, Brian, and I, we worked so well together. So communication was really easy. And I think the other thing that we found really helpful was just a real passion for um, the work that you're doing, whether it's the specific problem you're solving, the technology you're learning about. For us, I think one of the things that really drew us into the competition was learning about the new technology. So really getting into what Web 5 is, how is this going to be implemented? We thought it was just really cool to be able to do something new and to be solving new problems in a new space. So yeah, it was really cool. It was awesome to be able to learn together and just bounce ideas around. So yeah.
No, I really love that. I love that you highlighted that like having a good team really helps as well, because if not, you guys would have butt heads or not been able to come to like a good decision on making sure that your project was like excelled. And also your story is important as well, because when you're presenting it to the judges, like you mentioned, Brian, like you need to be able to have a compelling story, solve a problem. And everybody needs to kind of relate to it and be like, whoa, you did that with Web 5? That's really cool. That's what we thought when we heard about RideFair. I was like, oh, this is really, really cool. Okay, so let's let the audience know, what is RideFair? Why did you create it? And what is the problem that it solves?
Yeah, so Web decentralized ride sharing app. The problem that it solves is being able to kind of do everything that you do in your typical ride sharing experience, but allowing users to have ownership over their data and really feel empowered to be able to protect their identity and all of the things that are necessary in that entire experience.
Yeah, and I think to add on, while we were like researching for the problem space, we realized the travel and transport sectors were the most distracted industries when it came to handling data. And we saw that it was definitely a great opportunity to like leverage that Web 5 technology and create a safer space with that. But yeah, I think with, like Rebecca said, just making sure that there is a problem in this space and seeing how Web 5 can truly help people own their identity and make it and try to integrate it in a way that we use in our everyday life. Like, for example, like ride sharing.
Exactly. Yeah. And especially with the ride sharing experience, we're especially concerned about protecting their payment details, their location. These are really sensitive pieces of information. So we're really compelled to help people feel safe and secured in our version of a ride sharing app.
Yeah, and with that in mind, like when we were learning about Web 5, it really it showed that there's so many possibilities regarding user safety and privacy that you can do with Web 5. So which is what the main focus we wanted our app to embody.
Yeah, no, I love that. And you're right. There is a lot of sensitive information. And the one that you highlighted, like your location, your payment, but specifically your location. I know for me, when I get into like these ride sharings, I think of that in the back of my head, like, what if I'm getting into like some creep's car and they know exactly where I live?
Yes,
They're picking me up
that's
from
so true.
there. Like that is scary. And I don't want to like get too much into the demo, but I believe there's also a part in there where you get to like pick your drivers. Yeah. Okay. That'll be like a sneak peek for you guys when we get into the demo part. My next question is, so this kind of touches base on working well in a team. And I know you guys have 2 designers in the team. How do you guys approach designing differently when it comes to like SSI applications or Web 2 applications or just design in general? I'd love to hear like, were there any like a little bit of like button heads happen there?
Not really. Like, I feel like Jen and I, we work really seamlessly together. There's definitely a ton of ideation, a lot of brainstorming. And I think also because we were, very much exploring the space, we were just very open-minded. We definitely approached it with kind of like the typical design process. I think in terms of how designing for Web 5 in particular is different, um, a lot of it was kind of understanding and unpacking the specific elements that are new and that are distinct to Web 5, and then figuring out how to include those elements into the experience itself. So, for example, things like the DID, onboarding. And then the other thing that we were talking about a lot was figuring out how to communicate kind of implicitly with users what our app is really trying to do, the values behind it, how are we really protecting user identity. And so some of that, a lot of that process meant that we were kind of brainstorming different options that allowed users to see different levels of transparency with their data, what was going on behind the scenes. And at the same time, I think we were juggling really wanting people to be familiar with the experience. Like, people are so used to ride sharing apps as they exist today. And we wanted them to know that, they can still have all the same experiences. This app has the same capabilities that are familiar to, the robust competitors that are already out there.
Yeah, like to add on, we didn't really want to make the ride sharing experience that different from the current models of, let's example, like Uber or Lyft, since the ride sharing experience currently work in the user experience kind of a thing. So not trying to reinvent the wheel, but I think where we came in as designers was really identify that there is like an ethical issue, like a safety issue, and then since that we have TBD5, the Web 5 technology, having that and leveraging that so they can own their data and feel more safe, definitely feels like we should leverage it and make something out of it. So yeah, I think we have a responsibility to help users really understand their privacy and see how it can impact when they use products with tech. So yeah.
No, yeah, I love. Thank you for both of you responding. But yeah, I think it's important, like how you said, like you don't want to reinvent the wheel. It already works, like you said, that UX and that UI. And we also, I feel like when it comes to Web 5 adoption, we want people to understand that it's still working the same, right? Like we're not asking you to do anything crazy or different where people are like, well, I don't really care about my data and my privacy and stuff like that. But when you give people these use cases where it's like, okay, but your address, your payment, stuff like that. And that like kind of gets people thinking like, oh, maybe I do care a little bit about stuff like that, but I don't really want to change the way I use it. Like I want convenience. I want to be able to log on, get a ride, and like it works. I don't want to hear all the other background stuff. So I love the way that you guys did that approach for sure. Brian, did you give any like insight into the design, or were you like, you guys handle that? You're the experts here.
Well, we definitely all did a lot of research, especially since this was the first time any of us had really worked with any sort of SSI or any decentralization. So I did provide a little bit of input every now and then, but nonetheless, like the designs came out beautifully, and they did a lot of work on that, and it was very accessible for everybody.
Yeah, no, I love it. And now let's get into a demo. Let's let everybody see what it is and how it works. I'm gonna pull up your screen.
Okay. Do you want me to play it right now?
Yeah. You can start. If you want to do like a little intro before you start, whatever works for you.
Okay. Yeah, so this is the app. I prepared a little video demonstration. Seems like in the chat there's also a link to the project that you can access if you would like on your own. So I'll just hit play here. So when the app first loads, we use Web5 APIs to check for any existing DIDs. If not, the app will create a new one for you on the spot. We then just have to register and save some user information with that DID. Well, let's go ahead and sign up. enter a first name, last name, continue. And here we have our DID. But realistically, we would actually want to pair our app with some sort of DID wallet to manage this for us and allow users to easily access their DID. So let's ride. And that brings us to the main part of the app. We have 3 screens: the home screen, where users can search for destinations and request a ride. We also have the ride screen, where users can see their upcoming rides and any ride history. Then we have the profile screen, where users can manage any of their settings. So let's go back and search for a destination. I'll go with Safeway, my local grocery store. And we have a couple of options here. I'll just go with the first one, submit that. So we have a couple of ride options. I'll just go with standard. It looks like we have a couple of driver matches. Now, for the purpose of this demonstration, we're merely using mock data. And in a real production-ready app, we would actually use some sort of aggregator, which I believe TDB already has plans for. And with that, we would be able to fetch any available drivers. So once we make the request, a ping would go out to the driver, and only once they have accepted will my data be shared with them, such as my location, my name, etc. So let's go ahead and request. And again, for the purpose of this demonstration, we're going to be skipping that entire writing interaction. So we can go ahead and leave a review, a tip, and submit. And right here, we actually want to allow users the option to connect a crypto wallet as well, so that they can pay using that if they choose to do so. So let's hit done. And it looks like we're done. Also, just to showcase that we are checking for an existing DID, if I were to refresh the page, we should actually be able to skip the onboarding process and automatically log ourselves in, because the app is checking for an existing DID, which we should have. And there it is. We're still logged in with the same name, and we should have it. Yeah, we have our ride history here. Yeah, so with the power of Web 5, we're able to build a ride sharing app that gives power to the rider. All right.
Oh, I think you did.
Thank you for the demo, Brian. Do you want to add a little more to it? Do you want to like talk a little to it if you want? It's up to you.
Yeah, so when I was building the app, one of the things I thought was really cool about Web 5 was it didn't seem like I really needed a backend for it. So I was able to start up pretty quickly since I only had to use front end. And you can with the Web 5 APIs, you were able to handle a lot of the data privatization and securing just using the APIs. So I thought it was really cool. Yeah.
Nice. What about you, Jennifer? Anything you want to add to it? I'd also be curious to know, like, since you guys completed this project a while ago, do you plan on revisiting it? Are there any like improvements you guys want to make to it? Did you have like a running list of like wishes that you wish Web 5 did that we probably have now?
Yeah, actually, when we were brainstorming or kind of narrowing the MVP features, there was a lot of features that we wanted to build out, but there's a lot of like technical constraints, like, oh, within a month we had to get this done. This is like the most feasible thing that we can do in a reasonable time. But yeah, definitely there was a lot of things that we wanted to test out. So we are still working on a new iteration, Rebecca and I, during our free times, and trying to still continue the product. So yeah, we've been testing it with new users with a prototype to see if it really works and people actually like it. And then, yeah, just seeing how that goes right now. We're currently in the stages of it. And yeah, do you have anything else to add on, Rebecca?
Yeah. So a couple of the features that we were looking into adding or kind of iterating on, one, you did mention, so with RideFair, you can choose your driver, which is very different. And Jen and I, and Brian too, we all kind of thought very hard about that feature because it is a bit of a double-edged sword. Like, we recognize the fact that choosing a driver would be very important to users in, well, you're getting into a stranger's car. You don't really know who this person is. And it's nice to be able to kind of like have a little familiarity, just like human to human. However, from kind of like a diversity and inclusion and equity standpoint, we also realized that there were some additional risks to allowing that freedom to users, that, things like bias can get in the way. And that was the other interesting thing about working on RideFair. Even though, we were working with what is a hypothetical product, we still were keeping in mind the types of users that we were serving. So yes, we're serving our riders, but at the same time, in this company, we're also wanting to keep in mind who our drivers are. Are we protecting them? Are we taking care of them? And so Jen and I, we iterated some features that included, okay, what would it look like if you could filter your driver according to different things, and like, do we want to do that? So we ended up deciding against it. But those are some things that I feel like Web 5, or just like this new technology and the new generation of apps that are coming onto the scene, we really have to wrestle with some of those implications as well. Yeah, but I guess some of the specific features that we were working on, as far as like the process, were kind of like iterating a little bit of the process for how to select drivers. And then also we were thinking about including some safety features. So I don't know if anyone's heard, but Uber actually, they rolled out their Uber for Teens, a new feature just like specifically for teens. Now, I used to, in my past career, I was a high school English teacher. So this is like especially relevant to me. I'm like, wait, what? Like, ride sharing is one thing, but trusting drivers with our kids on the road is a completely different animal. So I'm very interested in advancing that and kind of, like learning how to keep people safe wherever they are on the road. Even like, emergency situations. There are so many things when it comes to safety and protection. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't actually hear about that, like how they were adding for teens. And I agree, that does sound like a little scary. Actually, Rizal kind of said the
Very
same.
scary.
Like, yeah, how are they going to keep them safe? But I do also like some of the points that you brought up, because I'm thinking from like a consumer, like, oh, this would be great if I could filter my drivers. But when you like talk a little bit more about it, I'm like, okay, you're right. Because then, like you said, biases can get in. And then people, like, what's the incentives for drivers to want to be on the app if people are only going to want like women at a certain time, like at night, they only want to drive with women or stuff like that? That could happen. And I didn't think about that. So like, I love that you guys were like thinking about that and thinking beyond just like the users, but then also like from the other end, the drivers. But I do want to know more about how they're going to keep these kids safe with.
I know, right?
And Rizal also has another pretty important comment too. I think our credentials SDK came out after you all submitted your project, but I can see a lot of benefits, that's use cases for it in your application, just as far as like verifying like who the people are and stuff like that. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have any, did I like cut you off, Brian, or you're good? I feel like I hopped in there. You're okay.
No, you're good. You're good.
Good. The next question I want to ask you guys is, who came up with the name RideFair?
That was definitely a group effort. We did a lot of brainstorming. Oh, Jen, were you going to say? Oh, I think she's frozen. Did you want to?
Oh, no. I wasn't going to say anything. But yeah, it was definitely a group effort. We came up with a lot of names.
we came up with... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was going to say that we had actually a workshop, just Dave. I think we spent like maybe an hour or two, just the whole entire time, just brainstorming a bunch of names. You can go on though, Rebecca.
Yeah. So we took basically a whole day to brainstorm some names, and it was really fun because we got very strategic with it. I think initially we really liked how some of So, and I also have kind of like a bit of a copywriting and English background, but we were really intrigued by some of the monosyllabic words like ride. We loved drive. We also loved, and then I think Jen, it was either Jen or Brian, one of you guys came up with the idea that we should have 2 single syllable words together, just like because so many big tech companies do that. You know, like, yeah, there were so many. And then, and I feel like there were, yeah, we came up with a lot of names that had to do with ride, and a lot of company names that also had to do with drive, but we preferred ride. And then with fair, we really want to emphasize our value of being fair and being able to bring that into this space. So that's kind of how it kind of was born, but totally a group effort.
No, I love it. I love the name. And I believe that it took like a day because there's literally companies all about like getting names for other companies, which is insane to think, but it really is hard finding a name for like a product that you're building. So that's
It's so
awesome.
true.
It's crazy though. Let's see. Let me see if any comments. Does anybody have any questions? Let's see. Ooh, people are interested. We have from Discord. Let me know when you guys have this app running in Brazil. Like, I need it
Will
now.
do. We
And
love
also,
it.
Tanya, can I have this ride sharing app today, please? I'll also take it today too. Whenever you guys want to put it in the app store. I love it. Thank you so much, guys. I guess we can like get to like some fun questions because I feel like everyone's so quiet today in the comments. What's everybody doing? Okay. We normally say like, what's your favorite Beyonce song? But I feel like I want to ask you something different. Like, what's your feel good song? Like, if you're not having the best day, what's the song that you put on and you're like, okay, like I can do this now. Like I can finish it out. Anybody? Go ahead.
Okay, the song that like immediately comes to mind for a feel good song, and I just went to a wedding last weekend too, is Happy by Pharrell Williams. I just feel like that is the quintessential, boost your mood. And yeah.
That's a good one. I like that one. I'm singing in my head.
I think for me, it definitely depends on my mood. Definitely what's trending right now. It will just get into my head and I'll repeat it 24/7. But currently, I really like Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. It's really popular on like a lot of like social platforms like TikTok, and people are doing trends with that song. So it's been on my mind lately.
No, I don't think I know that one. How does it go? Give me like a little snippet. Sorry to put you on the spot. Sing a little snippet.
I can't sing, but she basically says like she says espresso a lot, and I just think about that.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up after this call. What about you, Brian?
At the moment, I think right now my favorite feel good song was "The Thrill" by Wiz Khalifa.
I like that one too. I'm trying to think for myself. What's my like feel good song? Honestly, like I feel like my songs are like they're not super upbeat, but I don't know. It's just my go-tos. My favorite is "Bless the Broken Road" by Rascal Flatts. Like when I play that song, I'm like, okay, everything is right with the world. It's not like super upbeat, but it's just like super touching and sweet. We actually do have some questions that I missed. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Okay, this is from Andre on Discord. Are they open to collaborations or partnerships to enhance their platform's capabilities? How can we reach out? It's a good one.
Yes, we are definitely open to collaboration and partnerships. Reaching out, I mean, I guess the easiest way to reach us is probably like email, LinkedIn. We love working with other people. We're definitely huge collaborators, and yeah, more ideas always better.
I think to add on, at the end of the day, we really love feedback. And I think great products are often like built on feedback, on feedback, on feedback. And if we communicate and collaborate with each other, I think it's better that way. We're not stuck in our own, like we said before in the past, like biases. We have to really understand like why people are using this, like what's their psychology. And yeah, just if people are willing to kind of collaborate with us, just hit us on LinkedIn or I think email is also an easier way too, just straight to our inbox.
Yeah, I added the link there because I believe it has like all of your contact information on the side by created by. So if you guys go to that link, you should be able to find their LinkedIn through there so you can collaborate with them. We have another one. Let's see. This is from Gerald. Really cool to think about how applying these capabilities / concepts to basically every other service in our life can return control back to the user and providers. I agree with that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you guys have any like parting words, any last sentiments that you want to share before we end our stream today?
I think for me, mostly just thank you to TBD for having us on, for choosing our product. We were so honored. And I also just want to, give you guys props for just teaching the next generation about Web 5 and this new generation of technology. I'm so excited to see everything that will be built and all the great uses that will come into play because of it.
I love that. Thank you so much, Rebecca. Anybody else? No? Okay, well, thank you to all three of you. Oh, sorry. Go.
I just want to say that I thought the idea was super fun to work with, and it reminded me a lot about this TV show called Silicon Valley, where the main character wanted to create a decentralized internet. And so I had a lot of fun working with the idea of it.
I love that. And thank you guys, because I know you said that you saw Web 5 and you were like, I don't know what this is. It looks cool. The docs are like updated. There's a lot of information in there. I'm going to take a chance. And that's like, we love that. It's like, obviously we love feedback too. So I'm really happy that you saw Web 5. You wasn't a little like thrown off by it or intimidated, and that we were a good resource while you guys were working and building your projects. So thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you guys coming on the stream, and congrats again for being our winners. Woo! I wish I could do like the confetti and everything. I don't know how to do it. All right. Thank you, audience. Thanks for asking good questions. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
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 Thank you.